that little red dot just sitting there. One number. Maybe it says 3. Maybe it says 47. And somehow that tiny red circle has more power over your nervous system than your actual to-do list. You're not imagining it. That badge is engineered, accidentally or not, to hijack a very old survival circuit in your brain. And once you see how it works, you'll never look at your home screen the same way again. Here's the weird part. It's not the message that stresses you out. It's the number. Let's get into why. Picture this. You're mid-conversation, having a good time, and your phone buzzes on the table. You don't even pick it up, but some part of you is now somewhere else, half present, waiting. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, it means your brain remembers unfinished tasks way more vividly than finished ones. An open loop. Something incomplete just sits there, humming in the background, demanding closure. A notification badge is a perfect, tiny, red, unfinished task. It's not even information yet. It's just the promise of information. And your brain treats unopened almost like unresolved. That's the itch. And you know what happens to itches. But here's where it gets a little unfair, because your brain isn't just reacting to the number. It's reacting to what the number might be. Think about a slot machine for a second. Nobody wins every pull. That's actually the whole trick. If you won every time, you'd get bored fast. It's the unpredictability that keeps you pulling the lever. Your notifications work the exact same way. Sometimes it's a text from someone you like. Sometimes it's a calendar reminder. Sometimes it's absolutely nothing. A robot congratulating you for opening an app you forgot you downloaded. This is called a variable reward schedule, and it's one of the most reliable ways ever discovered to make a behavior addictive. Casinos didn't invent it. B.F. Skinner did, feeding pigeons in a lab in the 1950s. And pigeons pecked a lever way more obsessively when the reward was random than when it was guaranteed. You are, biologically speaking, closer to that pigeon than you'd like to admit. So now you've got two forces stacking on top of each other. An unfinished loop your brain wants closed, and a reward system that doesn't know if closing it means good news or nothing at all. But there's a third layer to this, and it's the one that actually explains the stress, not just the itch. Every time that badge pulls your attention, your brain has to do something expensive. Switch context. Drop what you were doing, load up phone mode, process the notification, then switch back to whatever you were actually focused on. Researchers call this attention residue. A chunk of your focus gets left behind on the last thing you were looking at, even after you've moved on. So you're never fully present anywhere. Not in the conversation, not in the task, not even in the checking itself. Do that 40, 50, 80 times a day, and you're not stressed because of any single notification. You're stressed because your attention has been sliced into confetti. And here's the cruel twist. Turning the badges off doesn't feel like relief at first. It feels like something's missing, because your brain got trained to expect that itch. So what actually helps? Not willpower. Not just don't check your phone. That's fighting biology with vibes. What works is removing the variability. Batch your notifications. Check email at 3 set times instead of every ping. Turn off badges for anything that isn't a real human being who needs you right now. When the reward stops being random, the itch stops being loud. You're not weak for feeling pulled by that red dot. You're running exactly the software evolution built you with, a brain that hates loose ends and loves a good surprise. The badge just found the seam. Close the loop on your own terms, not the algorithms. Turn off what you can, batch what you can't. If this made you look at your lock screen differently, you know what to do. Subscribe for more of this, because your brain deserves better than a slot machine in your pocket. You didn't need to check it. You just needed to know why you wanted to.